Hey guys, it's Lydia. Today I am actually going to be using my willow bark tincture, and this is all about willow bark. So willow bark is just a really great thing to have around, and it's just an herb that I keep on hand. What is a tincture? If you don't know what a tincture is, that is just a highly concentrated herbal remedy basically. And so you may have heard the term apothecary, which is just basically herbal medicine. So I have a little apothecary in my pantry that I go to for certain things. Willow bark is just one of the most versatile things that we keep on hand. And so to make a tincture, you either need a vinegar base, which would give it about a year shelf life, or you can use a glycerin base, which would give it a 2 to 3 year shelf life, or you can use an alcohol base, which is my favorite, and that's mainly what I use. And that gives it probably like a 10 to 15 year shelf life. So how to make a tincture basically is by extracting the amazing compounds within an herb, a bark, a root, by soaking it in alcohol and putting it in a sunny place. And it needs to soak for about 4 to 6 weeks for it to really just pull all the amazing benefits from that plant or that bark or whatever. Today we're using a bark. So most tinctures you're going to want 80 proof alcohol or higher. I do recommend if you're going to be doing a root or bark, you're going to have higher success with a higher alcohol proof. So the higher the proof, basically it's going to be better, especially for those really dense woodsy, like a bark and a root. It's just really dense. So an herb, you can definitely get away with 80 proof or higher, and a bark or root, you're going to want, 90 to 100 proof. So if you're like me and you're not an alcohol drinker, that's like a whole new world for me, and it really was difficult trying to figure out exactly what I needed. But this is something that is near and dear to me, and I really wanted to make sure I had a good apothecary here at home. So instead of turning to something else, we can turn to something natural. So you may be thinking, alcohol, oh my gosh, I don't know about that. Well, you're using very, very small amounts. So it's not like you're going to be drinking large quantities of alcohol. This is just a smidgen. And so it is stout, but it is not going to hinder or change your behavior. So it's just basically administering a medicine, and it's a lot safer way of administering medicine than taking something over the counter with tons of additives and toxins. So willow bark is just really great. It actually has salicylate, polyphenols, flavonoids, and all sorts of other great properties in it. So aspirin actually was created by extracting the salicylate from willow bark. So actually what they did though, when they extracted that, was they also took away all the other great properties that willow bark has and just extracted the salicylate. So they just took that out, and then that really took away the benefits of how great it is. It really did everything all in one before, and they didn't need to remove all that. But what they did is they removed all the extra stuff, just took the part they wanted to create aspirin. And then like acetaminophen, for example, is just really harsh on your liver, and they added all this other toxic stuff. So by using willow bark, it's basically the equivalent of aspirin without all the additives, without all the extra stuff and the toxins. So I've ordered my willow bark. You can order, there's lots of reputable sites. I like Mountain Rose Herbs. You can order willow bark from them, and I keep a large amount on hand. You can collect your own willow bark. I have a willow, I just planted out front at our place. I don't know what kind of species or variety that is. So if it was dire circumstances, I could definitely debark my tree and use that. But since it's not dire circumstances, I don't want to hurt my tree. So I'm just going to order my willow bark online from a reputable site. So I've ordered that. Now, whenever you make a tincture, you're going to fill it about 2/3 of the way with my willow bark. And then you're going to cover it the rest of the way with your 90 proof or higher alcohol. So I've done that, and this is sat in a sunny spot is best, so it can really get all that good stuff. And I always just make a little note on the top that has a date and then what it is, so I don't forget. So to strain this off, it's going to be really simple. And I actually started out with a clear alcohol, and you can see how nice and rich and brown that is. And you will be able to get quite a lot extra out by pressing into that bark, because you don't want to waste any of that. Alcohol is expensive, so you don't want to waste any of that. But I have got my dark amber bottle ready with a little dropper, because this is how I'm going to administer my medicine. And I will fill this. Now, after it has sat in a sunny spot for 4 to 6 weeks, then you're gonna wanna put it in someplace dark without direct sunlight after that for the next few years until you use it up. So we will not go through this too quick. We don't take a lot of medicine, but you know, this is gonna be really great for back pain. I've been having terrible back pain lately, and so this is gonna be really good for back pain. This is gonna be good for headaches, some sore muscles, things like that. Just things that you would normally take aspirin for, you would take willow bark for. So I'm gonna put this in my apothecary, my at-home apothecary, and this recipe, actually doing it in a quart jar, you're going to have a really good supply. So always make sure and label what is in it in your jar, and then also put a date on it, and then put it into a dark place out of the way. So I hope this made sense. A tincture is just really easy. There's other ways to do it. You can also do an oil infusion, which is another great option, especially if you're going to make a salve or something like that and it's going to be more topical. This is going to be ingestible. So if you're going to do something topical, then I would definitely do an oil infusion or something like that. But tincture is going to be more of an ingestible medicine to take whenever symptoms arise. So I hope this made sense for you, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And I'm going to give you a quick peek of my apothecary and what I've got going in there.